Turks and Caicos. I woke from a dream at 3:33 a.m. this morning after travailing last night, and it's for you. The Lord loves you, and I know this because He continues to send warning after warning. And I know this because He has sent a warning after warning. I'm going to share the dream and the interpretation with you. In the dream, I was staying with a family member at a villa for a few days in an area that I was familiar with in Turks and Caicos. We didn't have a car, so we depended on 2 family members to take us anywhere we needed to go. There were gang members patrolling the area. That was strange to me because this area was usually very secluded and safe. There were many paranormal and evil supernatural things that were happening in the villa that we were staying in, so we wanted to leave the villa to go back to the apartment that we were living in the dream. Everyone who would come in and out of the areas, the gang members would dialogue among themselves to determine if that person was worthy of being there or if they were a threat to their gang. I remember a significant part of the dream where we found a little tree. This was before we left the villa. We found a little tree and it was full of fruits, fresh fruits. We picked some of the fruits to take home to share with the members of the house. We finally got to the apartment, and there was supposed to be a family member in there who would quickly open the door for us. It was as though everyone knew in the community that it was not safe outside anywhere on the island, so everyone was alert. We knocked on the back door, no answer. But the apartment had lights on and everything seemed fine from the outside, so I started to get a little bit nervous. But I had a spare key, so I took the spare key and I opened the back door and I went in. I was met instantly with the apartment half in shambles. It looked like someone ransacked the house. I mean, everything that was hanging was down. There was like a light fixture that went across the wall. It was torn down. Everything was just where it shouldn't have been. I was sure that if my family member who was supposed to open the door for us was even in there, they were either injured or unconscious because he didn't open the door. I tiptoed toward the living room, trying to peek around different torn down objects in the house, and then I saw a shadow of someone on the living room floor. The lights were on and the fan was spinning, and I knew that it was my family member. As I was coming around, preparing myself for what I was about to see, I said, Jesus Christ. But when I came around enough to see fully, I saw him on his knees, with his face bowed down to the ground. When I saw him, I observed that he wasn't harmed, and he was playing CBN on the TV and praying with Pat Robertson. When he noticed that I was standing there, I saw a sigh of relief on his face, like, oh, thank God you're safe. But at the same time, he was still praying. When he was done praying, I said, we were knocking and calling you and you didn't open the door for us. It's like there was a natural fear and curfew in the land because the gang members would patrol and determine who was worthy of being out. He was shocked that we were knocking because he didn't hear anything. And he was aware of this fear that he also had. So, if he heard us knocking, he would have come and opened the door right away. When he got up and looked, the entire house he saw was in shambles, and he was so surprised. He said, when did all of this happen? Before we explored the rooms or decided what to do or find out if anyone else was in the house, I woke up. But just before I woke up, I understood this one thing in the dream. It was an evil, supernatural force that ransacked the house. It wasn't a physical person. I understood that in the dream. So when I woke up and started writing down the dream, this is the interpretation that the Holy Spirit gave me. The scenario of the ransacked house represents the young men of the TCI. They appear fine outwardly, but on the inside, demons have tormented them. My family member who was in the house represents the sleeping church in the island, praying very basic televangelist prayers, completely numb to the warfare happening in the minds and spirits of the young men. The gang members patrolling represents what is to come of the TCI should the believers not take their positions seriously. The devil will be on patrol through these tormented young men, and the island will be indirectly run by gang members because of the natural fear that will spread. The fruits represented the beauty and fruitfulness of the island. But I remember that the fruit, when I got it, it was like I had to keep it a secret. I had to hide it, or nobody knew that there was this beautiful fruit. So the interpretation of this part, specifically the fruit, is that Turks and Caicos is beautiful and it's fruitful and it has so much to offer. But it will become an undiscovered gem if the gang members take over. No one will see TCI's beauty any longer. The gang members will take their post as the police, and anyone out of line with their liking will be in danger. The significance of me checking the time exactly as I woke up and seeing that it was 3:33, final warning complete. There are two scriptures that the Lord gave me concerning you. I'm going to read one in your hearing, and the other I will link in the description because of the length. Lamentations 2 verse 19, and I'm reading from the New Living Translation. It says, "Rise during the night and cry out. Pour out your hearts like water to the Lord. Lift up your hands to him in prayer, pleading for your children, for in every street they are faint with hunger."